After a few days on the Pacific coast, it was time to head back toward the mountains. My next destination was Futaleufu. But first, I would have to survive another very long day of hitchhiking. And once I finally made it there, I spent the next few days exploring some of the rivers and viewpoints surrounding the town. Good morning, we have 7. The sun is not even up yet. And we're taking the bus because hitchhiking is not really possible here and my visa is running out, so I need to save some time. So we're taking the bus, 2,000, manageable expense. Let's go. At 7 in the morning I left Raúl Marín on the bus. The early start was perfect because it meant I still had almost the entire day left for hitchhiking. After crossing the river by ferry and driving back through the mountains, I arrived in La Junta. And that was where the waiting began. We're back in La Junta and we're at the road now, at the Shell, the gas station there. And now we are going to the road and hopefully we're getting to Futaleufu today. We're at the crossing again. This is where we went, hitchhiking to Raúl Marín. And now we're going to Futaleufu, hopefully. I went back to the same junction where I had hitchhiked a few days earlier. 2 hours passed, nothing. 3 hours, still nothing. Eventually, more hitchhikers started gathering around me. Some of them had already been waiting for hours as well. And soon, there was 8 of us stuck in La Junta. 3 hours of waiting, nobody take me yet. And there's not many cars going here. So we will see how it goes. But also the next bus is going on Monday and we have Friday. Then, after around 5 hours, a German family finally stopped. They were traveling in this enormous truck, which had actually been a fire truck before. And somehow, all 8 of us fit inside. They could only take us as far as Villa Santa Lucía, but after 5 hours beside the road, I definitely wasn't complaining. In Santa Lucía, the group split up. After 6 hours of waiting, we finally made it to Villa Santa Lucía, which is not Futaleufú, but 70 kilometers away from it. Some were heading toward Chaitan, while the rest of us continued toward Futaleufu, which meant waiting again. It got later and later. I had already started thinking that I might just camp somewhere around Santa Lucía. So this right here is the road going to Futaleufu. But we will see if there's still anybody going here. Ooh, perrito. When suddenly a bus drove past and honked at us. The driver was heading to Futaleufu, and for around $3, I finally had my last ride for the day. Got a bus for 3,000. Late that evening, after an entire day of buses, hitchhiking and waiting, I finally arrived in Futaleufu. I found the campsite, set up my tent and called it a day. Alright, we arrived. Bus cost 3,000, $3, €3, however you want to put that. And now we're going to our camping, which is 11 minutes. And then we're gonna do a little bit of planning. Gonna buy some food, then we're gonna see what we do tomorrow. The next morning I was still pretty tired from the day before, so originally I planned to spend the entire day editing. The rain made that decision even easier. So first day in Futaleufú is amazing. Today we can see the mountains and we're probably gonna go to a viewpoint today. I haven't really decided, I'm quite tired still. Yesterday was a really long day. So I wanted to go hiking today, but it's raining and it's cold, so my rain pants are not working and I'm still a bit tired from yesterday, so we're gonna edit today and the next days we have some sun. So we're gonna start tomorrow with the hiking and exploring. It's getting colder and colder here. Currently have 0 degrees and a felt temperature of -2. And that's because of the rain and all of the snow that's building up on the mountains here. So we're gonna do a short mirador hike today. But first I'm gonna get some snacks for the viewpoint. But later in the afternoon the weather improved a little, and after sitting behind my laptop for long enough I decided to head out. There was a small viewpoint not far from Futaleufu, perfect for a short hike before the weather changed again. These two dogs are following me from the camping and showing me the way. And if you've been to the Himalayas, to Nepal, there's a belief they have. If dogs follow you into the mountains, you're kind of blessed and protected. So these ones take care of me here. That's a very short, easy hike. Nothing huge today, but after yesterday, a quiet afternoon in the mountains was exactly what I needed. Look at how nice that looks, but I think there's an even better point to sit right there. Time to head back and say goodbye to this beautiful view. So we're heading back down. The next morning looked completely different. The sun was out, so today I wanted to explore a little farther. We're going to a viewpoint to the river, which is quite famous, and 30 minutes walk. I started walking out of Futaleufu toward another viewpoint. Nobody stopped this time, but luckily the walk wasn't very long. This is the sendero we're gonna follow, the trail, and it goes down to the water at a nice viewpoint. Eventually I left the road and followed a small trail through the forest, running alongside the river. And not long after, I reached the viewpoint. Below me, the river cut through a small gorge with that incredible turquoise color Futaleufu is famous for. place, but it's time to head back. So that way, over the hill, and then we're back in about an hour. I stayed there for a while before eventually heading back toward town. Back at camp, I had another problem to deal with. My tent had ripped the night before. We got a rip in the tent, so it's time to fix this one again. The other one I also patched up. That's the second rip in the tent, but it's alright, we're gonna make a nice thread. And then some gaffer. Worked perfectly the last time, so it's not. So I spent some time repairing it. Did a little more editing and finished the day. Needle and thread and some gaffer. Now I'm gonna build it and then put some on the inside. This is the new part. The second one. Yeah, the fix is here. So, it should last a while. Now I'm gonna put some gaffer up there. Alright, and now we got a fully waterproof tent again. At least for a few months. Hello. Right here we have kind of a famous place in Futaleufú, at least one that's more well known. And the road leading to it is quite interesting. April 20th was another slow day, mostly editing, but with the sun outside I didn't want to spend the entire day behind the laptop. I have to say, I like Futaleufu so far a lot, it's beautiful here. But I really think it's more of a summer town, because most of the activities have to do something with the river here. Like swimming or rafting, kayaking. So I think best obviously would be the summer. But we're out of the season, so there's nothing I can change. But it's still amazing here. So I walked down to the Playa Los Lolos, small beach on the Rio Espolón, right beside Futaleufú. And today I didn't really need another hike. Ooh, these ones are very, very nice to grill. They're just amazing. So this is the secret beach. It's called on Google Maps, so it's not really secret. But it's a nice spot with beautiful water. Later I headed back to camp and continued editing. Then I started packing everything for tomorrow. There was still one big thing I hadn't done in Futaleufú, but I wasn't finished with this place yet. First, I wanted to cross the border into Argentina, visit Los Alerces National Park, and explore Trevelin and Esquel. After that, I would return to Futaleufú one more time, but that's for the next video. See you.